Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, I'm Sid and welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Before we jump in, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below, whatever floats your boat. Today's video is something that is near and dear to my heart. I am an audiobook lover. I'm a fan. I cannot describe to you how much more reading I got in my life when I started to use and listen to audiobooks. And I am here to give you a quick little hit list of my personal favorite audiobooks that I have found over the last, probably 2 years. The first one I'm going to mention is The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. And most people are going to expect me to kind of recommend the Andy Serkis, which if you don't know who Andy Serkis is, he is Gollum. He is the voice of Gollum in the show. That is actually not the version that I'm going to recommend. I am actually going to recommend the version by Phil Dargush, and this version in particular just has my whole heart. I actually have only ever listened to this version of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I have never actually read physically either book. This is how I consumed The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit for the first time, and I cannot describe to you how amazing this version of the audiobook is. It is an ambient audiobook, so it includes Howard Shore's famous, score from the movies, and so when there's different scenes that have different music that go along with them, it actually plays that music in the background. But then on top of it, I don't know if lots of people know this, but there is lots and lots of songs sung in The Lord of the Rings, and they actually sing them. They sing them in the audiobook so that you don't have to kind of make up your own song in your head. They do things like the dwarves were shouting in the background, and they'll have the dwarves shouting in the background. They'll have a crackling fireplace in the background. And so it just creates this really amazing atmospheric ambient environment for you to consume the book in, and it honestly just it was just so immersive for me, and it was such a great experience. I could not recommend this audiobook version enough. It is wonderful and it deserves so much more love and attention than I think it gets. Everyone just refers to the Andy Serkis one, but personally I cannot recommend this one enough. Next up is one that I actually read earlier this year, and it kind of took me by surprise. It's A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brené, and I love this book. I think it's a great mix of Indiana Jones and Sherlock Holmes. I love the premise. I think that it is a lot of fun. It's a very short, it's 10 hours, which don't come for me. That's short in my book. So it's a very short, quick, easy read to consume, and it was a lot of fun. I had a blast with it. I think that the premise of the story is a lot of fun. It takes place in a world very much like our own, but dragons are real, and she wants to be the first person to study them. And so then you're just kind of set out on a quest from there, and the narrator, I think she does an amazing job. I actually don't know who reads it. I'd have to look that up, but the narrator does such an amazing job. She really embodies the character, in my opinion. I think that it just matches the vibe of the overall story so incredibly well. Another one that I'm actually just now adding to the list because I remembered it is Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. Hopefully I said that right. And this book really caught me off guard. It was the last book that I read in 2022, and it kind of blew me away. The story is fascinating. It's very short, but it's incredibly hard-hitting. It's one of those books that I haven't stopped thinking about, and it will come to my mind every now and then, and it's stuck with me. And I think that for a lot of that is due to the narrator. There's several different narrators. It's not a full cast by any means, but there's like a male and a female narrator, and it's just a wonderful, quick little read. And if you have not read it, I highly recommend. It's just kind of one of those books, again, that stuck with me, and I think it's mostly due to the fact that I listened to it. My second to last recommendation is the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells, and this series really kind of stole my heart. Checked it out from my local library and went on my way, and I cannot recommend these enough. I have now gotten, I think, 4 people in my family, me included, to listen to the Murderbot Diaries. I absolutely adore them. They are so much fun, and there's a reason that they're my second. I personally believe that the narrator just encapsulates the Murderbot 100%, like wholly embodies Murderbot through his tone, his inflections, his attitude, his emotion. Every single thing that this narrator says and does just feels like it's coming from Murderbot, and I cannot recommend listening to Murderbot enough. I think that in this particular case, the narrator was able to bring the story to life for me and just added so much more to the story than I think I would have been able to do myself had I just read them physically, and I think that's why it's so high on my list. The last book on the list, and by far the best book on the list, is the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski, read by Peter Kenny. Oh my goodness. Please, I don't think you're ever going to get me to shut up about Peter Kenny. At this point, I credit him as like a partial author, because holy crap, this man just completely and wholly embodied the entire Witcher series for me. He brought the series to life, he brought the characters to life, and he does voices for each and every character that just makes him so far above any other narrator I have ever listened to. I am about this close every single time I think about it to buying the Witcher series on audiobook, just so that I can listen to them again and not have to borrow them from the library. I have now convinced every single person in my family to read the Witcher series, and by read I mean listen to them. My dad, he would be livid at me saying this, but my dad actually shed a tear at the end of the Witcher series. Like, that's how incredible of a narrator this man is. I cannot glorify and talk about Peter Kenny enough. I still need to look up if he's ever narrated anything else, but he just absolutely incredible way of bringing Geralt and Dandelion and Ciri to life. They just feel so authentic and so real, along with the fact that he does different voices for everyone. Almost every single character is different and has different inflections and different tones and emotions, and he just does such a great job of showcasing that and bringing that to life through the audiobook. Another thing to say and credit to all of them is every single narrator on this list is clear and concise and very controlled in their voices and tones and everything like that. I typically listen to my audiobooks on 1.25, so just a little bit sped up, and even then at 1.25 they are still clear and concise, and I just can't say enough about every single person on this list. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I love talking about my favorite audiobooks. I love recommending audiobooks. Please drop your favorite audiobooks in the comments down below. I love a good audiobook. I can't say enough good things about them. I'm also heading to Mexico soon, so please drop your audiobook recommendations in the comments, because I'm going to need some books to listen to while I'm on that ridiculously long flight. So please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!